Hey folks, I'm Gene Della Sala, president of Audioholics. Today I want to review a Yamaha AVENTAGE AV receiver for you guys because you've been asking, we deliver. So we got this model right here, it's the RX-A860. It's about the second or third model from the bottom down, about $1,000 retail. And it's a 7.2 channel or 5.2.2, so you could do Atmos with 2 height channels. They rate it at 100 watts a channel times 7, but as you know and as we've been talking about, these Atmos receivers are getting power inflatings up the yin-yang lately. And usually these receiver companies rate them at 1 kilohertz or they rate them at 10%. This one actually is rated at full bandwidth at 100 watts a channel. We did some bench tests on it. The bench tests were not spectacular, okay? A $1,000 receiver from 10 years ago gave you different bench test results than they do today. Okay, you can read our report. It does hit the 100 watts a channel like they claim, and actually goes to about 120 with 2 channels driven. But at 5 channels, you get about 35 watts a channel because of the massive current limiting. And for 4 ohms, you barely get any more power at 4 ohms than you do at 8 ohms. Again, the current limiting. And if you look at the distortion profile, it goes up and then to the left. I've never seen an amp do that before. It's kind of bizarre, but they've really put in a lot of protection so you don't overdrive this receiver. And you got to realize something, when you're spending $1,000 today versus $1,000 a decade ago, you're paying for all the networking features they didn't have then, you're paying for Atmos, you're paying for DTS X, you're paying for everything but the kitchen sink these days. So anytime they stamp a new logo on here, what's going to happen? They're going to cut the power supply, or they're going to cut the heat sink in, or they're going to cut the amplifier output. So the cool thing about this though, it's still a modestly good powered amp. It could power small speakers. If you got multi-sub, it'll still fill a room with good sound, as we've tested in this room in particular. But it does have 7.2 channel pre-outs. So if you want to add external amplification, if this isn't enough power for you, you can do that. There is a caveat though. When I measured the preamp outputs, you know, Yamaha's notorious in the past for not giving you at least 2 volts RMS unclipped. They fixed it for a few years and now they're back to their old tricks again. This thing will shut off at 1.9 volts RMS and it gets into high distortion above about 1.5 volts. Okay, so what I recommend, if you're going to mate this with a external amplification, make sure the amplifier you use has a voltage gain of at least 29 dB. We just tested the Monolith 2-channel amp from Monoprice. That gets you full power output at 1.4 volts. That amplifier would go very well with this receiver. Okay, so just make sure you check the voltage gain. So now that we got some of that nastiness out of the way, let me talk about the positives of this receiver. The really cool thing about this receiver that you don't get from a few years ago is all of its networking capabilities, okay? MusicCAST is freaking awesome, okay? This is the first time I've actually tested the new MusicCAST in a receiver like this. I had it working within minutes. I was able to stream music from my phone, from my network drive on my computer. You could do it through Bluetooth, you could do it through MusicCAST, or you could do it right through the network. There's so many options to get all the album artwork on your phone or your iPad. My buddy Dominic bought this receiver after I reviewed it. He's loving MusicCAST, he uses it like crazy. It's just really easy to stream to this device. And that's really a feature that, you know, is very worth it, especially if you're doing parties and you just want to engage social events and you don't want to have to sit there and throw CDs in anymore. MusicCAST is where it's at. Yamaha makes it really easy to use, and we like it. So now you're probably wondering, what do you get with this model over the model below it? Okay, so you got the model below it is the RX-A760, and it's $250 less. This model gives you 10 more watts a channel, and it gives you the preamp outputs. So it's actually worth it to spend the extra $250, in my opinion, at least for the preamp outputs, because it gives you more longevity of the receiver. You don't want to spend $700, $800 on a receiver and then 3 years down the road you decide to get new speakers that need more power. Now you got to dump the receiver and get a new one. This will allow you to upgrade, like we said. You could use the preamp outputs with a good amplifier that has a voltage gain of 29 dB or greater, and you're good to go. It's like having a separate solution with the receiver functionality and the value as well. So the model above it, the 1060, I think that retails for about $300 more. You get 10 more watts a channel, you get a better DAC system. It's 10 pounds heavier, so you get a little bit more amplification. I'm sure that it's a meatier amplifier if it weighs 10 pounds more. That's a lot of weight for a receiver. So the 1060 gives you more HDMI functionality, more outputs, more inputs. It's up to you if you think that's worth it for the investment. I think these are all pretty high value receivers when it comes to everything that they do, besides some of the compromises that they don't do. But you know, you guys have all the models to choose from based on your price points. It just builds up. So as you get higher in the models, you get more power, you get more features, you get more useless DSP modes. Oh, you also get multi-point YPOW with the higher models. But as we found, you know, we're not big on YPOW. We're not big on full range room correction. You've seen our videos. We discussed the reasons why. We don't need to rehash that here. But the cool thing about this receiver and all the new Yamaha 860 or 60X models, they finally listened to us and they employed a manual PEQ that goes down to 15 Hertz for the subwoofer channel, where you need it most. So you could actually go in and manually tune this thing, and you could use the PEQ to go down to 15 Hertz. You could get rid of the low frequency room mode problems that you have. It's got 2 subwoofer outputs on it, so you could plug in multi-sub like we have in this system. And that really makes a difference. You know, it really makes a difference when you have multi-sub and you can EQ it. And Yamaha allows you to do it with this model. So, you know, a couple other things we wanted to suggest. The bass management, they don't give you the 12 dB and 24 dB per octave slopes like you usually get with THX certified equipment. I think I measured about 20 dB for the low pass and 12 dB for the high pass. It's close enough. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's close enough. The one thing I will tell you to do is don't use the extra bass setting if you have your main speaker set small. I measured some weirdness going on there, so just make sure you turn the extra bass feature off if your mains are set small, okay? Other than that, you know, there's really not much more to say. Overall, we're happy with this product. The weak points kind of are outweighed by all the advantages you get with all the feature sets, and the fact that you're able to plug in external amplification if you need more power. You should be good to go. It's a Yamaha AVENTAGE. You know, it's what you expect from Yamaha. Easy, relatively easy to use, especially the on-screen display. And that's all about all I could say about it. So guys, I hope you like this video. Please hit thumbs up. Let us know what else you'd like us to review in the future. If you have any questions about this product, I'd be happy to answer them in the YouTube comments below. Make sure you check out a full written review with measurements. I get into more details of setup and everything else. And guys, until next time, keep listening.